Welcome back, y'all. Hopefully, my other part did record. But I was talking about making the Za'tar chicken. So I was talking about how I bought a 3-pound package of chicken and I defrosted it in the fridge, and how I like to do that the night before. I do all of my meal prepping on Sundays for the week. And usually I try to get probably about 4 different meals. So to me, that ends up being about 8 to 10 meals for the week. I don't eat a lot of breakfast. I tend to eat snacks in the morning and do my lunch and dinner. So you probably won't get a lot of breakfast items from me, but there are a lot of other great YouTubers who do breakfast as well. And maybe that'll change. So I am just applying the seasoning liberally. Za'tar seasoning has a lot of really healthy items in it. So it has chickpea salt, it has sea salt, oregano, sunflower oil, lemon oil, and thyme, and sesame seeds. So I like to apply this really liberally. I like my food to be really flavorful. So, and if I know that the seasoning already has like a certain thing in it, like lemon oil, then I might add lemon just to kind of seal in that seasoning as well. And I'm going to use some black pepper. Well, and if you want to add a crunch, which I think I am going to, and since the seasoning already had sesame seeds, I'm going to actually use sesame seeds. And put that on the chicken as well. And then I'm just going to bake it. You can also put the seasoning prior in a freezer bag and kind of do a shake and bake. Where you put the chicken in the bag with the seasoning and you shake it up. I didn't do it this time just because I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to set up the camera for this. But I definitely like that. And if you can marinate it overnight, that's even better. So, I'm also going to add some olive oil. And my oven is set to 350. I'm going to put that in probably for a half hour or so and check in. So far, we've gotten our chickens, right? We got our boiled eggs for snacks if you're into kind of high protein diet. And the lovely thing about boiled eggs is that I find that they actually keep me full longer. So, same thing with nuts. And I feel better eating those things. So, you know how convenience stores will have like protein packs, which can be a boiled egg, mozzarella, and nuts. You can make that at home, and you can actually save a lot of money prepping it yourself. So that's what I do. So, next thing that we're going to do is, if you're doing meats, like I said, we did the chicken. I'm also going to use a steak for the fried rice. Quote unquote, I should say, right? So, I have a package of beef skirt steak strips. I actually wanted a ribeye for this one, but this will have to do. And you can see it actually shows the serving size, so this is 3.5. For me, it'll probably be about 3 servings. But, so you can kind of adjust as needed. And like I said, ultimately my goal for each meal is to get at least 2 meals out of it. Sometimes I get up to 4. So, chicken's in the oven. And I'm just going to take my knife. Very careful. Open this up. And I actually have a grill. So I'm just going to set it, an indoor grill. So I'm just going to set it on the grill. I like to season my grill. and kind of allow the meat to season on that. But you don't have to do that. And actually, this one is actually already seasoned. This meat is already seasoned because it's actually a fajita mix. But I found that steak doesn't really need a lot of seasoning. Some salt, some pepper, you're good to go. So, that's there. Now, we got that in the oven, and the salads we want to do last just because those are probably going to be the easiest. The next thing that might be a bit more labor intensive is the asparagus soup. So, I have my bag of asparagus spears. Actually, I think I may want to defrost that a little bit more, just because we're going to be making it into a soup, and I want it to break down easily. But let's actually try it and see. So I'm going to use my Ninja for this. You don't have to. If you have a food processor or a blender, that can also work as well. And I'm going to put the asparagus in here. So we're going to try it. It's not completely defrosted, but I'm going to see if it'll work. If not, I will put it in the microwave for a minute or a little less, because I don't want it to get rubbery. So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, put this in the blender. And so for me, I don't like it to be too mushy. So actually, I'm really going to pulse it for a second. And I can show you all kind of how it comes out so far. So there you go. And you can do this several ways. You can put it in a pot. You can put all the ingredients in a pot. You can do it in an Instapot. I am going to do it in an Instapot. So, we've already processed some of it. I am going to actually saute a part of it within my Instapot. You can saute it in a saucepan. You can saute it in a pot that you might use to also just create the soup. Since I'm using my Instapot, I'm going to go ahead and just saute it there. And I'm going to find my olive oil and just put a little olive oil in there. I really enjoy putting olive oil in most things that I cook, just because it's the healthy cholesterol, so it's good for heart health. And it's also anti-inflammatory. So that's a big part for me in my sense of wellness, is making sure I'm eating a lot of I'm following an anti-inflammatory diet. So I'm going to take half of this and put it in there just to saute a bit. You can also use garlic. Also inflammatory, right? But garlic, some folks like a lot of, I love garlic because I am a very savory person. But if you're not, you don't need it. You could use just a little bit. Like I said, I enjoy garlic. So I'm probably going to use a lot, if not all of this, this garlic here. So, I know they have where you can crush it. And I actually had one. I think Sir Latab sells it. Or you can go to the dollar store even maybe and get it. But I'm just going to gently dice it. Oh my gosh, gosh, I wish you all could smell this thing. It really smells great. And then I'm just going to set this on saute. Obviously, if you're doing this in a pan, you won't have the button to press saute. I would just say add some olive oil or whatever oil you like to use. And just let it saute for maybe 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be a long time because everything is going to marinate within the soup as well. But this allows kind of the key seasonings, so to speak, to kind of cook together before they simmer together. So, chopping this up. So another thing I like to do when I'm cooking is just light a candle. Like I said, it's about making it my sanctuary too. This is my wellness. This is how part of the ways that I engage in my own sense of self-care and therapy. So if you make it as therapeutic as possible, sometimes that's just making the environment warm for you. So, oh my goodness, yeah, and garlic can be very sticky. So we're gonna move on and do the next part, and that's my cat Simba. He wants to say hi, but he can't be by the food. So, I am going to use for that some vegetable broth, which I don't know where my vegetable broth is. I gotta find my vegetable broth. Oh, I think I put it in the fridge. So, you'll need your vegetable broth. You can also use cream or milk. I will be using cream. But if you don't use cream, you can also use almond milk. It's just going to have a different consistency. So, 3.5 cups. And this container is 4 cups. So I'm probably going to use and it's 4 servings in a container. So I'm probably going to use pretty much the whole container. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to use 3/4 of the container because I actually want to use this for my tabbouleh and rice. So I'm going to save a bit of that. So, I don't know if you all hear it, but we have the asparagus sauteing. I'm also going to add the butter. So I'm a big fan of grass-fed butter. And Aldi's has a great one. So you want to use probably about 1/4 cup or, half a stick. And I like to put it into pieces and break it down a little bit. You could just put a chunk in there, but if you just put 1 chunk, you should probably also be prepared to stir it as it melts, just to make sure it gets evenly distributed. So, put the broth in. I'm also going to season the broth, so once again, not going to make this too difficult. I want black pepper. I'm going to put black pepper in. And I'm probably going to put in a lot more black pepper throughout the process. I'm also going to add more garlic. So, there you go. You could also add onion to this. I'm still debating if I want to add onion because I think the only onions I may have right now are red onion. But actually, I only have red onion right now, so I probably won't add too much onion. I would probably like to add yellow onion, if anything. But since I don't have that on hand, I am going to just do the garlic. And we're gonna puree this all together and put it in our pot. So all we'll be doing next is really just adding the cream, and then the soup will pretty much be done. So for this, you don't have to dice the garlic. I am literally just going to put in each clove because I know that my Ninja will break it down for me. So that's the beautiful thing of technology. But if you have a partner or a loved one or a friend over, that's a child that maybe not a young child, but a child that you've taught knife safety to and can handle maybe chopping a couple of items. It's also a great role for someone. And it's a great way to get them involved too. So I'm just going to post this for a second. And you want it to make to get kind of extra mushy because we already have our chunks in the pot. So for me, I don't ever like soup to be like super soupy. I like some texture still. So you just pulse it to whatever consistency works for you. And I'm gonna put that in. Make sure you scrape out the ends of that. You'll also want to, at this point, if you are adding meat for the, if you did the steak, you'll want to flip over your meat. So, check that. And then our soup is mostly done. I would say you can add some flour if you'd like. A fourth of a cup would be plenty. I am going to add, and then of course your cream or your milk. So for your cream or milk, you will want to use a half of a cup. I like mine a little extra creamy, so I'm probably going to do like 3/4. But you really do it according to your own consistency for it. Then I'm just going to set my Instapot to soup. And then I'm going to let that cook. So make sure you stir it up. And then you kind of want to check it periodically. Just to make sure that it's suiting your desires. So for consistency and thickness, like I said, if you want it thicker, you can add more flour. If you want it creamier, you add more cream or milk. And I would say allow that to cook. Probably half an hour to an hour. If you want to make it extra decadent, you could add cream cheese. I did add heavy cream, so I don't think I need that. But you can also do that. You could also use a crock pot for that. And I'm going to go ahead and check the chicken. The chicken is not nearly done, but the steak is getting ready. So, since we're already dicing things, I think it just kind of makes sense to go into the kimchi fried rice. So, once again, you can use regular rice. I will not be using regular rice because I am living a very low carb life right now. But I love using a cast iron skillet for this. I highly recommend, if you have one, to utilize it for this. but you don't need one. You can use a regular skillet. The reason why I like the cast iron is because you can pre-season it, and it also, because of the iron, you get an extra dose of iron, which for me, since I tend to be fairly low on iron, is really important. So I just add a little olive oil. I am also going to do red onion and garlic, of course, because I love garlic, and turmeric. Those are going to really be the stars here, and the sesame seeds. But prep-wise, we'll also need the cauliflower, right? So 1 head of cauliflower is probably going to be 2 different meals for us here. So this head, I really appreciate cauliflower. I feel like I should just do a video on cauliflower alone, because cauliflower is so cheap, but you can do so much with it. So, you know, I've done cauliflower tacos, cauliflower burgers. So, and I might actually do those recipes next week. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So, kimchi fried rice. Of course, it's kimchi fried rice. It's Korean, so we'll need kimchi. And I have kimchi. So this is by Sento Gourmet. But the beautiful thing about kimchi is it's fermented cabbage, right? So it's a probiotic. And a lot of studies are talking a lot about gut health and how that impacts our mental health. So things like kimchi and other probiotics can really be helpful in doing that. So that's really all we need. If you don't like kimchi, you don't have to use it. I did get a spicy one because, once again, I really like things seasoned. But you don't have to do that. You can use regular cabbage if you want, and or you don't even have to use cabbage. I've done it before with broccoli or greens, so you really can't go wrong with another green or, you know, something in those families. So you can do it according to your preferences. So I just cut off the stalk here, and I'm just going to put all of these in chunks since I'm going to rice this for both the tabbouleh and the Korean rice, quote unquote. Here we go again, back into the ninja. I'm just going to break it up. The reason why my cauliflower is a little stiff is because I actually froze this. I found that I had bought too much in my meal prepping, and so I just froze the head. You could also break it down prior to and freeze it, and that way you can just put it down by portions and you can literally grab it out your freezer for the amount you're going to make. Since I knew I would be making 2 different meals out of this, I knew I could just use the whole head. But if you know you probably won't need the whole head for one entree, then definitely feel free to break it up. So we're going to throw that out. And I'm going to go back to my Ninja. If you don't have a Ninja or a food processor, you can also use your blender. Or you can chop it really finely. I'm not that great at chopping. So here's our cauliflower. I'm going to go ahead and pulse it. For me, it's always about your own preference. Like I said, I am trying to make this into a rice consistency, but you can make it finer. So you may say, oh, well, for the rice, I want it to be a little thicker, and for the tabbouleh, I want it to be a little finer, and actually, that's what I'm going to do. So here we are. That's our cauliflower. Hope you all can see that. I'm going to put half of it into the cast iron skillet that has been heating on my stove. It has the olive oil. And then the rest of this, I'm actually going to put back on because I want, for my tabbouleh, I want it to be really fine. So I'm actually going to put that back in. And if you are grilling your steak, you know, you can check and see. Mine is pretty much done. So I'm going to turn it off. And once again, that is the beauty of this, in that I know that my rice isn't going to take a long time to cook. So the steak was the longest if you're doing the steak. So, oh, one thing I forgot was the red pepper here. So we got this sauteing, and I really like, if you're using cauliflower, because it's not, sometimes rice, I like my rice kind of crunchy. So I would add something, usually I'll add some nuts. So almonds are my preferred one, but I don't think I have almonds. So I'm actually going to use peanuts for this one. Okay. So first, let's finish preparing prepping the tabbouleh. So I'm actually going to put this back in. Because I want it a little bit finer. Then I'm going to put it in a bowl until we're ready to work with it next. Okay. And it's nice. Okay. So we're doing the rice here. Actually, I am actually going to go ahead and use all of this because that was actually a smaller head for me. And I know how much I enjoy fried rice. So I'm going to use the whole head for this. And I'm just going to go ahead and defrost another one for the tabbouleh. And I probably won't use this whole head because this one is huge. But put that going. And you really only need like 5 minutes on a defrost, if that, if you had it in your freezer. So I said I wanted to give it some kind of crunch. So you can use, I prefer almonds. I don't have almonds, so I'm just going to use peanuts. So here we go. We have some dry roasted peanuts here. I don't need to wash this out because it's my cauliflower. Now, after I finish with this, I will wash it out because we'll be using it for the tabbouleh. So, but you can decide how much you like. I would say probably at least a couple of cups for each, or half a cup for each serving. So if you're doing 4 servings, then 2 cups. So, I'm going to also put the kimchi in a moment, but I want to talk about the seasoning. So, I'm using turmeric just because I really enjoy turmeric. I don't know if this makes it authentic Korean or not, but I just love it. It's also a good time to start putting in your onion. I will be putting in some green onion, but I'm also going to do red onion. So, green onion to me just goes well with most Asian dishes. And also mushroom. You can add mushroom if you'd like. It's not required, but I have some mushrooms, so you'll want to rinse out your veggies. And like I said, the lovely thing about cauliflower is it doesn't take long to cook. So especially when I'm meal prepping, I don't necessarily want to be in the kitchen for hours. I do enjoy my time in the kitchen, but sometimes I'm just tired. So it's great to just be like, okay, I know that if I do cauliflower dishes, I can do a couple of dishes in like 30 minutes. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer because, you know, we're just kind of getting started. And I hope you all can show me some grace here. You know, I wanted to kind of show that, you know, it's imperfections here. I am sure you all see other YouTubers have the perfect kitchen and all of that, and I don't. I just really enjoy cooking. So you know, please excuse my home movie aesthetic here. But, you know, that's the thing about this. It's not about proving something to someone or trying to be the best. That's why I love cooking so much. For me, it brings people together, and I love just kind of exploring what can happen in the flavors. And I don't get as caught up in, well, does this look right? Or, you know, what's the angle for this? So, I really just hope you all are, if you're cooking with us, you're just enjoying the moment. You know, you're being present. You know, I know I'm not showing you all my whole kitchen and walking around with the phone because I'm also cooking and I'm here by myself. So that's part of it. But also, I really hope that you all have your own music going, your own candles lit, and you're just taking time to be here, be where you are. And yeah, because that's what we miss out so often in life. We don't get the chance to slow down. And for me, cooking has provided that space. So to me, that's the therapeutic part. Now, there are other aspects. I mean, there is a thing called culinary therapy, which is an experiential practice. But for me, this is the most... being able to say, I am just going to focus on this. So I went ahead and processed or pulsated the peanuts. Like I said, I would prefer to use almonds, honestly, but I'm going to use what I have. So peanuts it is. I actually made too many. So I'm going to put this in a bowl, but possibly use it for my tabbouleh.